So we're live here at the Charlie Tango studio right in the smack city center of Copenhagen in Kødbyen. And today we are joined by Chris from GetBarry. First of all, welcome Chris.
Thank you for having me.
Could you tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do?
Yeah, so briefly, I'm head of growth / CMO at GetBarry, a new energy tech company, Utility 2.0, and previously I have a background in big corporates like L'Oreal and LVMH, Nokia, Georg Jensen, and then I went back to the innovation and technology that I had discovered at Nokia, and I went the startup route since 2013. Worked at Falcon, which people know from Copenhagen,
yes.
And discovered the wonderful world of electric mobility and clean energy in the south of France in a startup. And then when I came back to Denmark, I worked briefly at Mobile Life, discovered fintech, and then I jumped out when it became too bankish, and then I got recruited to grow GetBarry.
Okay. And you call it GetBarry's electricity shop, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's to be honest, it was the original name. Yeah, I think there was some clever branding agency that started the work. So GetBarry was started as it's a corporate venture, right? So we call ourselves a startup on steroids in the sense that we are a startup, we drive like a startup, we work like a startup, but we have the corporate muscles and the deep pockets from Fortum, which is our mothership, and which is funding the project. So, and and it was started with a briefing from the CEO, and then some agencies conducted a survey, a study to find out what was the positioning we were looking for, what was the psychographic drivers among European consumers, and then they said, let's start in Denmark. And they called it first, GetBarry's electricity shop. And I think it's the tone of voice which we're trying to have fresh and playful.
All right. Mm-hmm. And so basically, I mean, I know what you do because I'm actually a customer of yours.
Thank you for trying us out. Yeah.
But could you elaborate a little bit? So what is it that you do? And yes. Electricity, right? But
electricity, exactly. So we're not really a utility in the classic sense because we do have to provide electricity to people if they want to be customer at us and get their data. But we're basically really working it's about data, it's about behavior, it's about insight on your consumption. So we want to make electricity. The vision is to make it easy, fair, and fun. So easy, it's mobile, it's an app. We call it the app for your electricity. So basically you can become customer by simply downloading the GetBarry app, as you can see here, and then you can try the free version. So there is a free version which makes you discover insights about electricity in your socket right now, and then you can get more insight about your own consumption if you become a customer, and give us access to your smart meter. So that's what we are.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so disregard where you are in Denmark, you can actually become a GetBarry customer.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. One of the things so when I made the decision to switch to GetBarry is that, for me, and I think it's the same for a lot of people, energy, and of course energy is interesting to the extent that, we want to be green, right?
Yes.
But my power at home and, what comes into my house is generally, it's low interest. It's something that just needs to be there, like water.
Exactly.
What is it that you guys do differently than the other players in the market?
Well, I think we stand out in different points if I look from the big picture. So first, we are very hardcore tech company first and foremost, right? So in-house capabilities on a very high level on IT and tech side. So we haven't bought any solutions off the shelves, which many retailers usually buy, software that are existing on the market. So thereby we could build it as we wished to build it, right? So serverless computing using Amazon Web Service, and then we have really a focus on UX and design, which you only see in other tech startups, like Lunaway and so on, right? And we work with co-creation. So I think that's also a very unique. I don't think there is any other utility in Denmark which has a group of dedicated people like we have on this playground. So people are interested to co-create with us. We share our roadmap. We ask for input and so on. And then the last point is about this brand, which is really out of category. So I think that makes us really stand out. And then on pure feature side, I would say that the fact that you can pay on a running basis and not having a bill, so you pay with your credit card every day. And then that you have the visibility of green electricity. So when is it green, when is it black? Nobody's sending those signals today on the market among competitors. And then the last part is I would say the full overview of your consumption.
Yeah.
So I think we're different on many aspects. Yeah.
Yeah. You're utilizing something called electricitymap.org or something, is that
yeah,
right?
so that's one of that's our key partner to deliver this feature around because basically there are usually two reasons for people or three reasons for people to join us as customers and as users is, and one is about when is electricity the greenest, and we ran a campaign around May June with the election where again of course climate was top of mind and is still, thank God, still top of mind for people.
Yes.
Exactly. So people are again looking for things in their life where they can improve the way they are consuming things. Right. So the same way you are when you're browsing the aisles of a supermarket, you're looking for certain brands or certain labels like fair trade or organic. Here it's the same with electricity. You're making a purchase. It's not just something that flows. Yes, it flows, but you are purchasing it. So what are you buying right now, or what are you buying tonight when you're programming your dishwasher, when you go to bed? So here we'll tell you what you're buying, what it costs, and what color it has.
Right. Yeah. I've been looking at that graph. It's really impressive, and I'll encourage anybody. It's open to the public. You can go
exactly.
in
You can try
electricity.org and see what level of CO2 footprint is the electricity that's being produced in each country. I think it's a global phenomenon, right? It covers pretty much.
Exactly. Well, Electricity Map has covered an extensive part of Europe and a part of the world through collaboration and co-creation and open source approach. So we're really happy to work with them. So we have really this insight about how is electricity in West Denmark and East Denmark. And I think it's an important part of the solution to also go to the next step where this signal about electricity, so that's why we're working on our own API. We'll combine some of their data and our own data, so you can have this data talk with this API, give information, send information to, for example, your dishwasher, or even more important, your heat pump or your electric car. Yes. So it knows when to turn on and off, so you can maximize your, diminish the price.
Right.
And then, of course, at the same time, I would say optimize your CO2 footprint, which is something, again, that it's a new thing in your life. You can optimize, it's your electricity consumption.
All right. So, talking about electricity consumption and the consumers, in terms of the customers that you see for your shop or for your business, are there certain characteristics for those guys? You say, okay, it's the green. Or
it's a good question. I would say right now, if you look at the data, again, we are still in a smaller number because we barely started. We started in December last year, so we haven't even been a year on the market and iterating. In short, we see, I think, a skew of people which are, it's like a man, late 30s, Greater Copenhagen, and I think it reflects. I suspect it reflects more like an early adopter kind of profile. Yep. It's not really green or smart home. It's really about, okay, new digital solution. We made a lot of, we made quite some noise in PR in the summer last year. We were here at the Techfestival already as a sponsor. And people are just curious to see what is this. So, but I think we'll see a skew as it's expanding. We can see that when we are running campaigns on Facebook and you can let the interests, you can see that definitely people with a green interest are definitely interested in what we do. So that's what takes them to GetBarry. And then you have the techies that really want to have a smart home, right? Yeah. They want to have convenience. So it's not so much about green electricity, it's about, is it super smart? Can I integrate it with my smart home? And then you have the people, the last group, which is again, last but not least, money always talks, right? Money talks. So if I can save money with GetBarry, and we are selling at cost price, so people with a high consumption can definitely get a very sharp price with us. Okay. So that's the third group of people we see.
Right. Interesting. Mm-hmm. So I think there's this perception that Denmark is actually quite green. And I don't know if you can elaborate a little bit, because we have windmills everywhere. We have a lot of renewables, etc. We're very concerned about the green transition in this country. Is there such thing as pure green energy, or how does it work?
Well, we're chasing 100% renewable energy. That's, I think, is almost a utopian dream. I think it's going to be extremely hard to achieve. What we need to look at is as in steps. We have a good starting point. We have quite green electricity today, but still, no matter how many windmills you put on the horizon, or on island, or offshore, onshore, when the wind is not blowing, then we don't have electricity right here. So then we need to also combine more solar energy, which is also happening, biomass. You can always discuss the pros and cons. And I think we should still be probably somehow, happy that the Swedes are sending some low CO2 energy from their nuclear plants. So and again, part of the solution is, as we see it, to help people to have a flexible consumption. So either proactively switching things off or turning things on, or even easier, automatically with the rules base for their smart home, which is going to blossom definitely in the next few years.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, of course, is part of the answer is something which is out of our business. It's battery storage.
Yes.
It's of course electric vehicles, which we are somehow touching with our solution. But there's many things that need to come together so we can achieve this 100% renewable energy, which is extremely ambitious.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, the obviously with electrical vehicles coming into the marketplace and battery storage, that kind of helps in saving, I guess, that energy and then putting it back on the grid, etc. As the requirement for power switches over time, etc. So that's a really interesting.
The perspective for the energy market. There are going to be some amazing companies coming up, which are going to be about data processing, optimization of battery storage. I know a couple of startups I heard of who are starting to build this intelligence. So because it has to be on a large scale, it has to be both for the home, for my little battery in my garage. And then for the big company or even the train station where you want to have a huge battery so they can push the electricity back into the grid so the train can come on time or start on time, right? Even though electricity is or the wind is not blowing, right? So there are going to be amazing new businesses that are going to pop up, and hopefully this whole energy tech revolution, which is again, because it has started with Vestas back in the days. Now we need a new part which is also B2C oriented, and I think that's part of this ecosystem we're part of.
It's super exciting, Chris, where we are right now. I mean, it's still early days, right?
Yes, it is still early days, but it's an exciting time, and I think it's going to accelerate, especially with the magical 70% reduction figure of CO2 emission by 2030. Things needs to go fast on all fronts.
Yes.
So it's EVs, it's smart home, it's everything has to go very fast. So it's going to be a super exciting ride, definitely.
Must be exciting for you guys as well to be on that ride. Now, you guys, like you said, you are currently funded by, or have been all the time, I guess, by Fortum, Finnish company. Yes. You've been in the marketplace for a little over, or been live at least with your solution for a little over 6 months now. How is that if you were to pass on some advice to anybody sitting out there and thinking, hey man, I want to be part of the energy revolution?
Yeah. Well, I think it's find your niche in that ecosystem and do it super well. Find your first 100 customers that really love what you do. I think it's really about having make sure you have amazing analytics and data science capabilities, because it's really about data crunching. And then I'd say, I think it's have really a green heart, like a true green heart, and not just there for the money, because they're going to be hard times. But we're going the right direction. I think that all those businesses that are pursuing the right goals are going to be big businesses. So go there.
Yeah, and it's scalable, right? I mean, you can go across. You started here, but I mean,
exactly,
the world's the limit. Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's going to be like Vestas is exporting its windmills. Yeah. You can develop tech in Denmark and the Nordics that you can export. We're going to export in the future in the rest of the world for sure. Yeah.
Cool, Chris. I think we want to sum it up here. It was an absolute pleasure to invite you into the small studio. There might have been a little bit of noise in the background here. We are sitting, there are cars and bikes and people walking by.
It's Meatbag District.
If you're in the neighborhood, do come by. We are here right in the city center all day today. We are going to be here tomorrow as well. Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you for coming, and see you around.
Thank you. Bye for now.